What's up, what's up, what's up, chat? What's going on? Chad here, riding solo. Why do I hear my voice? Anywho, guys, what's going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Boy, I get to hear. No Greg, Brett. No Greg tonight. There we go. I didn't know you were watching for the Greg content, but I'm here for it. Doug's over here in chat. How you doing today, buddy? Yeah, so tonight, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to be kind of all over the place tonight. So, number one, I had a highly successful trip to Blue Sky. The Greg merch does fill the void. A highly successful trip to Blue Sky today, which, short version of that story, the Mustang is back. Vlog coming very, very soon. Number two, I saw the Enzo trailer starring Adam Driver. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. And in addition to that, something I'm actually very much looking forward to is the new Braun GP docu-series. We're going to kind of go over their story a little bit. It is, without question or shadow of a doubt, one of the best, if not the best, Formula One stories in the last 40 years. So, yeah, we're going to dive deep into all of that, guys. But first and foremost, how's everybody else doing tonight? Brett, why else would we be watching? Brett is speaking for you guys. Another thing, real quick, guys, I wanted to touch on is this month I am doing a fundraiser for a friend of mine who unfortunately is fighting stomach cancer. That's why some of you in the squad, you will have seen me. I've started doing gaming streams as a way of trying to raise money for that. So please, 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 guys, please, if you're going to donate tonight, I'm going to drop a link down in chat. It's in the description as well. Please don't give me any money tonight. Please send your money this way. It should be populating in chat soon. It's specifically for my buddy Mike, but it's also helping benefit. It's part of, I shouldn't say, it is a part of Debbie's Dream Foundation, which is a charity that helps fight stomach cancer. It is like all forms of cancer and things like that. It is pretty terrible, and my boy's been going through it. So anything you guys can do to help would be greatly appreciated. I don't have a way of tracking it on stream or what have you. I'm going to try and keep a track of it as best I can to thank each and every one of you if you decide to go down that route. But yeah, guys. But that off to the side. Anthony's in chat. Taco Tuesday is temporary. Shift Squad is forever. You're dang right it is. So I guess first things first, guys. We'll get to the Mustang. So we went up to Blue Sky today. To give you the short version of the story again, we took it to the track. We blew the exhaust off. Felt down on power. So we decided to baby her for the last 2 weeks. And from there, we are, until I could get it to Blue Sky, which was today. And we took it up to Blue Sky. We took stuff apart. And the clogs weren't, the cats weren't clogged. And, we couldn't find any obvious reason. We did some data logs. Didn't find anything there. So as of roughly 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon, the Mustang has a fully clean bill of health. We also did some mods. There's some, we do have some theories as to why it was pulling power. False knock is one of those things that we're theorizing. So the next time I go to the track, I have to data log. False knock is something that's known with the Coyotes and centrifugal superchargers. And specifically, my supercharger was hitting was actually rubbing up against the hood. So you don't need to have much for the knock sensors to be like, what the hell's going on? So short version, yeah, the Mustang is back. I'm going to be enjoying her, which I cannot wait for because it's been too long since I could enjoy her. In fact, it's been way, way, way too long because after the supercharger, the tires that were on it were towards the end of their life / not as sticky as our 888Rs, which are hella sticky. So vlogs incoming. We're going to have a ton of Mustang content. Hopefully Greg's dyno video is coming out at some point this week. He said he's going to stop by in chat to all of you who are missing a little bit of Gregson in your life. Brett, I'm looking in your direction. So yeah, one other thing we're going to do tonight, if we run out of topics to talk about, I am just going to hop on F122, and you guys can see me struggle mightily at that game. Halfway decent with it, but, halfway decent against bots that are on an easy difficulty. I'm halfway decent, so you get to see me struggle with that. Christian over on Facebook Jack, wife is making homemade tortillas and salsa, then some beans and chicken. Nice, sounds delicious. Oh no, I did eat dinner. Penne and basic meat sauce, in case anyone was wondering. Steve Christian's going to be clogged after dinner, aren't we all? And we're getting ready to head to the local Mexican food spot. Enjoy. It actually brings me to something. One of the things I'm going to start trying with vlogs is just food. Like talk about the car and then go have food. We have we're spoiled for choice, as we've talked about, for pizza places around here. There's a taqueria right down the road from me, actually in my development. There's 2 or 3 Chinese joints around, like just to kind of mix it up and make it more, the cars are still going to be the star of the show, right? Like we're still going to enjoy the hell out of the cars, but just to bring a little bit of extra variety. We're noticing a lot of the car channels that are successful right now are kind of half car, or not half, but they have mostly car stuff in them, but there's some other little stuff here and there to kind of humanize everything. I tend at least to get too focused on. My cat is just sitting here hitting me with its tail. I tend to get too focused on like the minutia of what I'm trying to tell in the video and not express myself as much. One of the goals for the channel this year and going into next year is to get the channel to be a little bit more cars, but you kind of come for the cars, stay for us, and then kind of try to flip that so that if we introduce cars that aren't necessarily in our wheelhouse, people are actually, more inclined to watch our stuff regardless of what it might be. Steve over on Facebook, I watched someone try to attempt to steal my catalytic converter. As soon as he went into my car, I slammed my heel into his kneecap. Okay. Yeah, there's that happens. I know we've had some break-ins with cars and stuff. Some, like 1 or 2, if I'm being honest. Sleepy little town. That stuff, but like the rare earth minerals in cats are catalytic converters are they make them a target, unfortunately. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't know if I went into this in detail, but when I got the tires put on the Mustang, my right rear was missing a lug, which I can only deduce someone was trying to get to the wheel or something like that. But all the other wheels were fine, so maybe someone tried to climb under my car because of the way aftermarket. But I mean, it's an aftermarket cat. Once you see that, there's not much there. It's not like a OEM cat or whatever. Once you see that, there's nothing there. So maybe someone, I have no idea. But long and short of it is, in a second. But long and short of it is, the Mustang is back. It's healthy. I get to enjoy her again. Steve, right by job that is next to police station. I'm guessing your new job is next to a police station, which makes that person a candidate for massive idiot of the year. Anthony goes, Gregson tightened that lug. Could have been. I mean, but I feel like the length of time it takes him to do anything with wheels, I would have noticed it. And there is Shades, a.k.a. my cat. What do you see out there? Whatever. Christian goes, so I work with an ex-con now. As some people here know, I've had multiple cars stolen. He used to steal cars for, and I quote, a living. Needless to say, some conversations get a bit awkward. Yeah, I have to imagine your frustration and then wanting to vocalize that frustration and having a guy who used to do it. That said, I mean, it really depends on where he is in life or what have you. But if he's like reformed, he should get it. But I understand the apprehension to wanting to do it because, yeah, that can be a little weird. Especially up by you, I feel like that's not an uncommon thing, like running into ex-con/ex-car thieves. Steve, there was a cop that pulled up right after I fucked up his kneecap. Ambulance came and took him. Well, I'm glad it was resolved, and it doesn't sound like you're watching the stream from lockup, so good on you. But yeah, I mean, there's an old cowboy saying that I'll modify for me, but you should touch another man's car as often as you touch another man's wife. As in, you shouldn't. I guess unless you have permission. But that gets down an awkward trail. But, yeah. I mean, if you're going to fuck with someone else's car or something like that, like, you should expect if they catch you, something not pleasant to happen to you, I guess is the sort of life lesson from Chad portion of it. Steve, be right back. Not a problem. Plan on being here for a bit. So, I don't know. So, real quick, how many of you guys in chat have seen the trailer for the new Ferrari movie? I just happened to come. I don't know if I'm being a bad whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you that makes me a bad content creator or a bad car person. But I had no idea about it, and I saw the trailer. Now, due to the way monetization and certain things work, can't really. I would love to show it and react, but unfortunately, I don't have permission from whatever studio is responsible for that movie. But I did want to touch on a couple of things, and I did want to bring in Greg Hansen and I did have a conversation about this. And that's good to see, Christian, that he's trying to get his shit together because, sometimes people make mistakes. Doug goes, if you have permission, you might be in a junkyard with either example. Yes. Christian goes, I think he's trying to... Okay, I read that. Yeah, I mean, here's the bottom line, and I'll kind of leave it at that. Like, just don't fuck around with other people's shit, whether it be car, whether it be significant other. Not that you possess your significant other, etc. You guys know what I mean. House, property, family, all that other sort of stuff. Frankly, I don't want to go down one of these tangents, but I might. Like last week, was it? But we are in the middle, and a lot of them are adults now, but we have a generation of people who were raised without consequence. You acted a fool as a kid, you went into timeout. You acted a fool at school, you had some counseling, you had some detention, maybe. They tried to figure out why you were acting out, not the fact that, you might have bullied a kid or hit a kid or what have you. They focus too much on that as opposed to you acted a fool. The punishment should fit it, right? Like, I'm not advocating violence or anything like that, but you know, I'm gonna sound my old here, but back when I was a kid, if someone was messing with you, you had two options: avoid them, try to let it go, that sort of thing, or smack them in the mouth. Again, I'm not advocating fighting and things of that nature, but I'll tell you what, the latter got rid of a lot more bullies than avoiding. Not that I was really ever bullied, but like I had friends who were, and stand up for them and all that other sort of stuff. But like, nah, and now you have these kids running around. Kids, some of them are adults or what have you. There's other factors to this that I'm not getting into that I could already hear Doug typing about, but not that's a bad thing, Doug, but we're just not going to go there. Christian goes, I'll advocate for violence. Choosing violence. Look, sometimes someone needs to get smacked, but we live in a day and age where if you retaliate or defend yourself, you could be at as big, if not more, trouble than the person who deserved it. And we raised a generation of people who have no consequence for their actions. So of course they're, oh, you caught me. Well, we're down on our luck. We need the money. Bad. Like, idiots empathize with that. It's like, I bet you wouldn't be singing the same tune if it was your car. That sort of thing. So like, I mean, good on you, Steve. I mean, in this day and age, you do have to be careful because someone's messing with your car. You shove them off. They injure themselves. And that opens up a whole other host of issues that... at any rate. Doug goes, not if you don't report where your chickens got rid of the body. We're to an extreme. I'm just sitting here saying, like, my nephew has an issue with a bully or two at school. And they sit the bully down and put him in counseling, and he's not supposed to do that, but the teachers can't intervene, because if the teacher grabs a kid, and God forbid the kid gets some sort of Indian rug burn, I know that's not politically correct or what have you, suddenly you have the parents calling for this teacher's head. God bless anyone who's a teacher, because I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, do not understand how you do it. Between the nonsense of you can't break up a fight, because some school relatively close to me, if there was a fight that broke out, kids would film it, and they had a freaking YouTube channel dedicated to it. Now it's been since taken down, but you're on camera. You come in. When we were kids, you got into a fight, principal grabbed you, pulled you off, separated you, got in your face, told you to shut it down, all that stuff, and you learned a valuable lesson. If you got into a fight, eventually a teacher or someone would come along, a coach or whatever, would come along, grab you, and there'd be hell to pay. And that made you think of, is this something I really want to do again? There's not enough of that nowadays. Christian goes, one day I'll own a few pigs. I feel like we're going down a different tangent. But in any rate, kind of down that rabbit hole. The Ferrari movie. Adam Driver playing Enzo Ferrari. Didn't buy it in the trailer. And I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know that. I'm trying to find like a synopsis on the movie. And IMDb goes, the life story. Oh, so it's a life story of Italian sports car entrepreneur Enzo Ferrari. I mean, not from nothing, but that's woefully underselling it. Race car driver, race team owner, turned sports car entrepreneur just to pay for his racing. Famously could not give the flying shit about any of his drivers. Notoriously a bit of a bastard. A lot of times his shown humanity was around the tragic death of his unfortunate, the passing of his son Dino. Um, but we have Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari, Sarah Gadon as Linda Christian, McDreamy himself, Patrick Dempsey, as Piero Tarfuri. Now, big fan of Dempsey because dude actually raced at Le Mans. Big props for that. Valentina Belle, Cicilline Manzini, Penelope Cruz as Laura Ferrari, Jack O'Donnell as Peter Collins. They do have a pretty impressive cast. Here's my issue with it. If it's a good story, that's one thing. But as we learned, well, first of all, the Lamborghini movie was hot garbage. Just wasn't a story told. It was an amazing story that they just couldn't tell right. They should have taken that story from when Lamborghini bought a Ferrari, wasn't pleased with it, took it to Ferrari. They refused to fix it. His engineers fixed it up, and then he decided to make a car company that would build cars better than Ferrari, all the way up to what really launched Lamborghini into the wow stratosphere, the Miura. Anything really beyond that, it's too long of a time period to tell a good story. Ford versus Ferrari nailed it. They told a little bit of Shelby to give the backstory, but then they jumped right into the GT40 and then Shelby's involvement with the GT40. And that was it. We didn't go on to see Shelby's Mustangs. We didn't go on to see all his other stuff and everything like that. Because it was a condensed time frame and it's easier to tell a 2-hour story if you condense it. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't want to slam a car movie or a car-based movie. Excuse me. A car-based movie. Because I don't feel like Hollywood should be discouraged from making these. I just feel like they need to learn from some of the mistakes they're making. And a fancy old car driving fast, some flash, some this, some that, does not a good car movie make. I don't know. Who knows? I want to be wrong about it. I truly, truly, truly do. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, the Lamborghini movie set the bar so incredibly low that this has to be better than it, right? I mean, I think they have Troy Kennedy Martin, Michael Mann, and Brock Yates as writers. Michael Mann is directing. That's some pretty heavy hitters. So if this story has a chance to succeed, it's pretty much in the right hands. Greg and Hansen and I were talking about it. Greg made the point, Adam Driver, very good actor. Me personally, I have difficulty seeing him past anyone other than Kylo Ren. That's a me thing, not a him thing. Hansen made the point of the firepower that the cast and production crew and director are bringing to it. So, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, it's a car movie, so we should be excited. But I don't know, man. It doesn't excite. It doesn't help that I'm not like a Ferrari file. So, even the classics that everybody fawns over, I'm like, the California short wheelbase, the 250 GTO. I think the one Ferrari I would actually, given the funding, Doug with his, did we talk about Lego Bugatti that actually drives? That YouTube movie sounds more exciting. Yeah. The one Ferrari, given the funding, 288 GTO. I dig the hell out of those. I actually love that Case swapped 308 or 328 Ferrari. I think it was the Magnum PI Ferrari. The Michael Selleck Magnum PI, not the whatever the current vehicle is. Excuse me. But that all being said, the actual piece of media or TV show or movie or what have you that I'm actually looking forward to is the 4-part documentary that will air on Hulu and Disney Plus and the rest of the world. Oh, it's on Hulu, not Disney Plus. Here. That's annoying. I'm gonna have to get Hulu. Excuse me. But it's about the Braun GP story and the 2009 Formula One World Championship, which, like I said at the top, this is one of the best Formula One stories in pretty much my lifetime. Here's the short version of the story. And Keanu Reeves is involved, so like that just kind of up levels an already great story. Here's the basic story of Braun GP, which is now the Mercedes F1 team. So they went from, basically it was the Honda F1 team. Car was designed, built, ready to go, and then Honda pulled out of the sport at like the 11th hour. And Braun bought everything. Ross Braun bought everything at an amazing discount, I might add. Retrofitted the cars for Mercedes power. That is not something I cannot oversell enough as being huge. In Formula One cars, the tolerances we are talking about are fractions of a millimeter. A body is and a chassis is designed specifically for an engine as a stress member, and the transmission. All of this stuff leads to the suspension, leads to the bodywork, all of this stuff. It is not easy to swap one of these things at all. And Braun did some quick engineering through the help of a double diffuser, which was a big talking point during that season. It was the first season of hybrids, so yay or nay on that. But you didn't have to run hybrids, which I thought was cool. It was the V8 era, and these things were nuts. And Braun, I mean, you could expect a car like that to find its footing like late in the season or what have you, given the lack of development time and everything like that. They came out like that. And like I said, it's helped to the double diffuser, which they nailed and perfected before anyone else did. Which, again, it's crazy, because that's where the engine and transmission is, and that's where a lot of the reworking went. Like, insane. They dominated early on in the season. Dominated. Jenson Button and Rubens Barrichello were just blitzing the field. Eventually, people started catching up, and it made for a actually very entertaining race season. It wasn't like this year, where the cheaters at Red Bull spent more than anyone else, had the best car, shockingly, and then just dominated to, what is it, like 10 wins in a row, which is a record for a driver. Makes for exceptionally boring. Like, it actually ended up, Toyota was good that year. I think a young Sebastian Vettel was on Toro Rosso, which was competitive that year. I think he podiumed or won a race. There was just so much going on. And like I said, this team then later became the Mercedes F1 team. And be a lot, in part, to Ross Braun's brilliance. Everyone wants to talk about Adrian Newey now as being the it designer. Ross Braun was it back in the day. At Benetton, Michael Schumacher doesn't win without him. At Ferrari, Michael Schumacher continues to win with Ross Braun. Ross Braun goes to Honda. They have this amazing car. Honda drops out. Mercedes engine in. All the rear engineering that goes along with that. And he wins. And then, after a couple years, he has hands on the most dominant space of F1 we've seen ever. With the Mercedes domination, with Lewis Hamilton's, all his championships, Nico Rosberg with his. It was, I mean, from where it came from to what it ended up being is insane. And I highly recommend anyone who has I recommend everyone go and watch it because it is a truly incredible story. If you want to get a feeler for it, Google the Jensen Button interview on Top Gear where he kind of talks about it. Because it's insane. It's nuts. You do not see stuff like this in Formula One. It'd be like if, for example, you had Toyota drop out of NASCAR and say Joe Gibbs create a team out of nowhere. He licenses engines from Chevy or what have you. Even that's not as complicated because all those engines are, I mean, they're not a stress member of the car. They're not the insanity that was the V8 era. As far as, I think they revved to close to, like, they were in like the 15 to 18,000 RPM rev range. Like, just insane engines. You know, most, if not all, of the NASCAR engines have a very, very similar footprint. So plopping one in, it's a spec trans. So, Doug goes, LS swap Toyotas. I see what you did there. This week's comment that gets Christian blocked, Keanu is overrated. We're all entitled to our opinions. Steve, thank you so much for the 100 stars. Real quick, again, guys, I'm not going to go too much into this because I don't want to be a broken record. But tonight, as you can see right above me here, is the Debbie's Dream Foundation for Curing Stomach Cancer. I unfortunately have a friend who's going through it right now. It's pretty nasty, as all cancer is, really. But for the month of September, I'm trying to raise money for him. So any donos tonight, guys, don't give them to me. Just the link in the description and the link I just posted. Go there. By all means, don't feel like you have to. If you want to, go for it. If you don't, not going to bother me too much. But I figure, friend in need, I have a platform. We can go. I might be able to help out, that sort of a thing. Speaking of which, let's just refresh this and see if. Yeah, thank you so much, Doug. Thank you for the 25. I appreciate that, man. And your grandfather died of stomach cancer a few years before I was born. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. So much product is made, but more lives can be saved. 100%, 100%, man. Thank you so much for your donation. I'm sorry about your grandfather. It's a cancer in general is terrible, and this is kind of I don't even know how to put this. This is kind of my first personal brush with it at this level. Yeah, so again, Doug, thank you. Much love, man. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Some quick sorry, my allergies are a little much. I feel it right here. All right, so Sean, thank you so much. Sorry, I comment kind of got lost there for a second, but Sean, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you, buddy. Alrighty, so actually, that's one thing I did want to do. Here we go. Let's go to Shift Squad. Just want to kind of comment on what some of our supporters are. Alrighty. So let's just go to the shift squad. Shift squad. So I just want to go over a couple things over on the squad. Sean, no worries. Just hiding from the Mothman and other West Virginia cryptoids right now. God bless and good luck. We have, this was kind of funny. Doug commented on a post on the Facebook page debating the merits of shitboxes over new car purchases. The secret is to own multiple shitboxes. Couldn't agree more. Variety and extra wheels, or extra wheels if you're fixing one of them. You sell new cars and you're really up to 14. That is impressive, Doug. It's hugely impressive. That's almost as many cars as I've owned in my life. Which, shitbox life. So, I'm gonna have to guess at this. Christian Shitbox Live. Doug goes, it's a high mark. Two are leaving soon. Really, what are we selling, or are they just being reclaimed by nature? I don't know why I said that like I expected a voice in my head. Whoops. So this might have been a mistake. Please hold for us, actually. Yeah, I tried booting up something up, and it's covering what I... there we go. That's why it's not plugged in. Oh, it's going to be annoying. There we go. This is weird. I can't see you, but I know you're there. Yes. There we go. Go. Alrighty. What'd I miss? Anthony's back. He was driving. Doug goes, getting rid of one XC70, my brother-in-law, and one is getting parred out, the 05 S60. Nice. Good to see one's going to a good home and the other one is being used for saving another S60. Sean, all of my vehicles are shitboxes as well. I mean, I have a moped that literally came out of a dumpster. There's something oddly appealing of that. If I wasn't staring big money, if I wasn't staring big money items for the Mustang, still, I know it, but we've talked about that. If I wasn't staring that, and if I wasn't staring at needing a winter vehicle that's somewhat reliable, I mean, I do like the disposable aspect of a winter beater, but like I do kind of want something that theoretically, if I wanted to, I could hop in and go to Home Depot, get some stuff for the house, or cart move car parts around with a buddy to bring their car, stuff like that. Um, Doug, a Honda Monkey would be excellent. Uh, so be it. Let's see here. Let's check something real quick. Alrighty. I think we're all caught up there. I'm gonna have to do one of these. Done. Go over here. Oh my goodness. Let me just check something real quick. Why is it doing that? Hold on, guys. All right. There we go. Chat link. All right, hold on. I gotta. All right, sorry about that, chat. Okay, we're good. Let's see here. Holy cow. Join the Square Body Club. I would absolutely love to. Do have a soft spot for them. I'm not looking for a immediate project. If that makes sense. I am looking for something I can drive and then maybe modify. Sean, I'm going to be in need of an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive vehicle that can traverse logging roads and deep Appalachia back roads. Sounds interesting and fun for a bit. Anthony just goes, Google. Christian, once again, advocating the square body. Doug, Chad, I'm going to be more personal this year. Chad does Mitch McConnell impression. Yeah, I hit a wrong button and I was staring at a screen that wasn't you guys. Apologies. So a mini bike. Steve goes, I miss the shitbox life, just not having an empty wallet. Look, if you have a reliable mode of transportation, having something that you get to tinker with is fun. If you have to tinker with the thing that literally provides you transportation, not so fun. So, I guess that's that at its simplest. All right, so real quick, guys, I'm going to take a quick fiver. Talk amongst yourselves. When I come back, I'm gonna hop into F122, have a little fun with that. Continue talking to you guys. We'll leave it up to, because they're always interesting. Lieutenant Doug is in charge of your intermission topic. Let's make it about the Lincoln Mark whatever pickup truck. Go. Alrighty, so Doug, I apologize, Captain Doug. I should put my camera over there. Nah. Oh, this is gonna get annoying. So Doug's best truck ever, Sean, for when you got to take the old lady to Sunday service and get a single bag of mulch from Lowe's. Not far off the truth from most pickup truck owners. For Doug, not shocking, the Hudson Terraplane, classic lines of a classic automobile with the versatility of a bed before El Caminos were even a wet dream. The Ute, as it were. Anthony, rather predictably, goes, you guys are staying on brand. I love it. Anything with a 12 valve equipped, probably tied with a 7.3 turbo equipped. That's chonky boy. Sean goes, if you want gas, I would argue the Pig Nose F-Series 300 6 manual, preferably with the divorced T-case and 4-wheel drive. Nice. Anthony goes, Cummins has a slight edge because they're a good bit more tolerant to alternative fuels such as waste engine oil. Huh, good to know. For me, about a month or so ago, the answer to this question would have been pretty dang easily a Raptor or a TRX. But recently, after seeing the 25, a friend of mine got a 2500 Rebel, or no, I'm sorry, Power Wagon with the light bars, the whole nine. That with the PD blower on it, I think I could be convinced. I mean, it's a $90,000 truck, $90,000 truck new. And then again, I do have a soft spot for the first gen Raptors. I do love the Raptor R. TRX again looks great. I love the idea of doing like a pre-runner build on an old Taco with like a 1UZ and 4-wheel drive. That kind of ticks it for me. Let's see it here. Chuck, welcome to the stream. Stream. Mark Anthony, truth, the car god's chosen platform. All right. Let's see here. Alrighty. Does there appear to be any audio? Of course there isn't. Why? Something weird. So the big thing here is I have like a 20-second delay on, and I can hear myself in the headphones. So let's see if this is making noise again. That's interesting. Let me see if this is actually. What's the play in that? So the problem I'm having is my audio wants to play through my controller. So let's just. Why is it doing that? Let's try this. Nope, I'm still hearing it. What if... Here we are. Alright, anywho, I'm gonna just deal with it for a moment. this is mildly off-putting. Chuck goes, I have a 24 Silverado with a Cummins and Allison. I love how she pulls. I pull commercially with her and put some pretty heavy weight. That's awesome. I have a soft spot for... the for diesels. Let's see here. Anthony's going silent. He's going to be listening. Food just dropped in front of me. Enjoy, my good sir. So for further now, you'll hear it 20 seconds from now. Just singing in the distance. Doug goes, 1957 Rambler Rebel, fastest carb accelerating car in the U.S. market. 1966 Rambler Rebel, two-door version, classic, 1970. Faster getaway than a Volkswagen, a slow freight train, and your old man's Cadillac. Ram Rebel, a truck. She gets less rebellious as time goes on. Is driving me nuts. Advanced. Fart. Let's see here. What did Mark send me? A picture for scale. That is a hearty meal, man. Enjoy it. Why? I think I may have fixed it. Hold on, chat. Why is it playing through the controller? Oh, there we go. Nope, definitely didn't fix it. This is nuts. All right, let's see here. All right, we're up to date there. So, why... is... Oh, might be one of the dumber humans on the planet. I always have the stream up in the background so I could keep an eye on it. And I had the volume up. Oh, boy. There'll be no further comment from me at this time. Oh, that was... Chuck, I'm a hotspot for the oil field. I know I'm running way heavy. Air helpers, def pushing 24,000 pounds. Okay. It's more than anything I've ever towed. I haven't towed much, if I'm being perfectly honest. Let's just see here. Okay, cool. Okay. Try this again. Huh. Wouldn't be a stream if I did. Wouldn't be a solo stream if I didn't run into technical issues at some point. It's the nature of the beast, I guess. Anthony, Sean, I maintain a strong opinion that Volvo would do very well to enter the luxury lifestyle pickup truck segment. That is actually... So let me put it to you this way. If you could see the relative success of the Maverick from Ford and the Santa Cruz from Hyundai, an argument could be made that there is a lot of room in that segment to have like a crossover based pickup truck that kind of fulfills the the void today of the like that the Ute filled for Australia. Um, I'm not advocating for crossovers because I hate crossovers, but I understand they're a necessary evil. Uh, but they're, I mean, you could do it. Is the Volvo buyer someone who, I don't know, is the modern Volvo buyer, and Doug could probably shed a lot of light on this because he deals with literally that, the modern Volvo driver. Is that a segment that, is there a need for it? I'm not saying I wouldn't love to see it. I'm just saying from a strictly consumer-based idea, is the person who looks at a Volvo the same person who, I don't know. Be perfectly honest, Greg would be the one to answer that question better than me. But yeah, it's an interesting thought because and Doug does make, I get as many truck questions as I do wagon requests. And that I believe is pretty telling because wagons in general they're just not shopped for anymore in great numbers, which is kind of a shame. A Volvo Ute, that would be an interesting option. I think there's like 12 people in the country who would buy one. That's the thing. I think if you had the ground clearance that everybody thinks they need, thank you, crossovers, killed the idea of a Ute. But the Maverick is bringing back the idea of the mini truck, which are the slammed small pickups. So I don't know, man. That's a damn good. That is a damn good question. There we go. Anthony is one of the 12. The problem with that is that it would have to be priced accordingly, which means it might knock on six figures. I did want to. Doug goes, I can reach the center of my bed in my 79 F250. It's sort of a novel idea to have a usable bed without steps. I can totally understand that, especially if, like, you use it. Most pickup truck drivers use their truck bed once a month, and that's being generous. They just like the idea of a truck. That's why pickup trucks did not become the best-selling vehicle in the country because everybody needs it. It's because everybody wants something like that. Where is it? Sean goes, I feel like they would have to make a rear-wheel drive platform to really do it justice, although the Maverick is front-wheel drive biased. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that I don't think the quote-unquote Volvo pickup truck buyer, or what would work with Volvo's current offerings, and in that if they wanted to go the Santa Cruz route or the Maverick route, it's a pretty quick route to get that type of vehicle. And it has like the utilitarian that the average truck user needs, but not on a body-on-frame, big honking, gas-guzzling behemoth. Which is why that would tend to make more sense. And then, because it's crazy to me, because Volvo does have a quote-unquote truck department, right? They do, or did at least, no, they still do. They made, semi-trucks. So it's not like it's totally out of left field. I also think with Volvo's let's just say, careening headfirst into hybridization / electrification, that I don't know, that might actually not be the worst thing in the world to have the gas engine kind of deal with the fronts and the electric motor do the rears for the all-wheel drive when you need it, and some way of locking it almost like a center locking diff for when you need the four-wheel drive all of the time, or at least to get out of a ditch or out of snow or something. Well, not a ditch, but you get what I'm saying. Let's see here. Chuck goes, I love the pass-through bed on the trucks. Glass comes down, rear wall folds in. Super useful. I think like your Avalanches and stuff had that. Volvo is bringing back rear-wheel drive with electrics, just saying. I mean, with electric, you can do whatever the heck you want because it's just such a simple platform. You don't have a piston going up and down, spinning a crankshaft, spinning into a transmission, which then has to spin a differential or a transfer case to spin two differentials, or a center diff that serves kind of the same purpose. I mean, just look at electric cars. They have trunks, right? Like, because they don't take up as much space as that. I mean, granted, the battery pack would take up a pretty decent chunk of space and might compromise some of like bed usability. But again, if you're in that vein, you're going to probably not be moving a crap ton of stuff. Some stuff, yes. A lot of stuff, probably not. Anthony, now F-wheel drive based all-wheel drive is perfectly fine in Volvo's SUVs. Stable, so it'd be fine for the sort of pickup. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is they have all this stuff done, right? It's just about changing the unibody and changing the body itself. So, I mean, it's interesting. I'm curious to see if the relative success of the small trucks, again, the Maverick and the Santa Cruz, if I am curious to see if more manufacturers don't take the bait on that. Because, again, it's an easy way into a segment. It's not, I mean, the Honda Ridgeline was similar to this in its first iterations. I think it still is body on frame, but it's a little more rugged than it was. Just because of the its size and where it's kind of trying to punch. But it is an interesting thought experiment because, like I said, everybody makes a crossover, so wouldn't be too difficult. Doug goes, Volvo trucks is separate from Volvo cars. I know they're not part of the same like division. I'm strictly thinking from a marketing perspective of they have these semi trucks, therefore it's not too big of a leap for them to make a quote unquote truck, right? I understand there's nothing that's shared, but it's more the mindset of the end user in modern times. They're separated, okay. I have the Millennial Proof 3 on the tree truck. I mean, that's Millennial Proof. That might even be Gen X proof with how long it's been since column-shifted manuals existed. Cool, for sure. I mean, the Brat didn't succeed and the Baja didn't either in the end. Speaking of Brats, there's a running and driving one near me for sale. I understand why the Baja and the Brat didn't succeed. They were part Outback, well, the Baja. They were part trading on the Subaru all-wheel drive name, part car, part oddity. And they really, really, really leaned into being that oddity. So, I mean, right around the same time as the Baja was the original Avalanche, or I think the Avalanche was a little later, if I'm not mistaken, which was the sort of SUV slash small bed truck. Um, it's those were weird. I mean, you don't. They sort of had their day and then fizzled out because at the end of the day, with those vehicles, you were making a compromise in both directions. Wasn't as convenient as an SUV, and it wasn't as utilitarian as a truck, for which it shared the same platform. That said, I don't know. I think it's a little different when you start getting into the crossover space, especially since I think we are entering an element. We've talked about it ad nauseum here of crossover fatigue, and what I mean by that is people are they're just kind of over crossovers, which is why you're starting to see like the Santa Fe, for example, which is a crossover, but it tries really, really hard not to look like one. So that these sort of cross pickup truck overs, whatever the crap they end up being called, some marketing idiot's going to call them a lifestyle activity vehicle. It'd be interesting. It's one of those things, but like I said, it comes back to, like, if we circle back to kind of the Volvo conversation, it's one of those things where is a Volvo buyer also looking for that, if that makes any sense. Nate donated 500 stars. Huge fan of the mini truck resurgence. I kind of dig it. I do. It's not on my top of my list of things I want, but it's definitely something I dig. And then just to kind of go back. I think we have 600 stars. Whatever stars you guys donate tonight, I'm going to just add to my donation to the charity. So I appreciate everyone. I appreciate all your help. I appreciate you guys are absolute legends. Let's see here. Where did we leave off? Anthony goes, by now Haldex is much more sophisticated and capable than mechanical four-wheel drive. Prove me wrong. For the end user, for the average consumer, never going to be a thing. It's never going to be. The end user just doesn't need that level of locking diffs and etc. So for the average person who uses it on the road and needs it occasionally, 100%. Let's see here. Don't make me chop up a salvage auction V90 to prove a point. In that case, absolutely, there's no chance a 30-year-old Taco will do better in every aspect of four-wheel driving than the V90. 100%. You won't do it. In the past, Utes and small front-wheel drive trucks had to compete with the Ranger and S10. Those are much bigger these days. Also a great point. The Ranger, the Colorado, the Canyon, they're decent. So they're huge compared to their old iterations. So, like I said, for something with that little bit of utility, something with that little bit of being different, with the relative ease of manufacturing and the fuel economy, I don't know. I'd be willing to bet you'll see one enterprising company jump on the bandwagon. I don't know who it is. You might see Chevy or General Motors do a Maverick competitor, given the relative success of it. Stellantis and Ram, not for nothing, Ram isn't even doing, I think, a Dakota replacement at this point, let alone a mini truck. So maybe that's how the Dakota comes back into the fold, is base it on, I have no idea what Stellantis crossover they would do with it. Sean goes, I think the Ridgeline runs on a unibody chassis from either the Pilot or the Odyssey. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. It was kind of the first crossover truck thing, meaning unibody construction, not body on frame or anything. But I think in the most recent one, because of its relative size compared to, say, although the Santa Cruz is actually pretty big in person, or bigger than I thought it would be in person. It's just when you have a quote-unquote truck of that size, you expect X, and I don't think the original Ridgeline met that, even though people used it 10 to 20 days out of the year. Chuck goes, Mark Anthony, no balls, LOL. Nate goes, give me a Maverick Raptor with the 2.3 RS drivetrain. Now would be a thing. Performance alone, I mean, shoot, even if you gave it 300 to 330, you don't even need to give it the full fat, even though I fully advocate the full 350 horse treatment. I'd also want them to do something about the noise, because EcoBoosts don't sound particularly brilliant, in my opinion. There's a couple RSs around me with exhausts and downpipes and stuff, and I would sacrifice like 30 horsepower for like an unequal length exhaust manifold to kind of dull the noise. But to each their own. But I would take that noise, and I mean, that would make the Maverick something. Make something I would consider. I would even go if I would, like, I don't know what they would call it, because the Lightning name is now the electric truck, and obviously you don't want to have cross-brand contamination. But I'd like to see that more in the Lightning vein of lowered all-wheel drive RS driveline. That would be pretty cool and pretty epic swap. Chuck, off topic, I'm looking for an 84 AMC Eagle Wagon 4x4 for my mother. You and Doug should get to know each other. If anybody in this chat's going to know, it's going to be Doug. Chuck also offered to help Anthony with his, V90 off-road. He can fabricate anything from fiberglass or carbon fiber. Good to know. Anybody who needs fiberglass or carbon fiber made, talk to Chuck. Sean goes, crossovers in disguise. 30-year-old taco. That's one of the leaders. So depending on how things fall, the truck that I'm likely looking is somewhere between a 1998 and a 2005 taco. Preferably with the 6, but I take the 4 simply because, like I said, eventually the goal of that vehicle would be to do a 1UZ or even a 3UZ swap, because I wouldn't really want to send it to the moon power-wise. And 3UZs are noticeably cheaper. You can get 350 out of them, both horsepower and torque, which in an old taco is, I mean, more than enough. Sean goes, bring back the Ram 50. Chuck goes, fuck it, just go with the Chevy Love. Good point. And then just real quick, Steve, thank you so much, man. I appreciate your donation to help Mike out via Debbie's Dream. You're an absolute legend, man. I appreciate you. Steve, Doug, those you guys, thank you. Appreciate you guys more than you know. Doug goes, the Ranchero hasn't been revised / ruined. Honestly, that's when I first heard of the Mini, or the whatever the heck we're calling the Maverick. I originally thought they were going to bring back that nameplate. I don't know why they chose Maverick, which was a car. But their timing couldn't have been any better because of all the delays to Top Gun Maverick. People were searching it, and it just happened to be a really, really good vehicle. And Chuck goes, I've been fabricating for 20 plus years. That is freaking awesome. Okay. Hold up. Alright. Oh, we can do it. If you got the if I can get the picture out of your head, my hands can make it. That is awesome. Yeah. Your boy, once I get the carbon fiber I currently have onto the car, and by the car I mean the Mustang, one of these days I have to bring that up and just make it my background. Because I have the carbon fiber roof. My lifestyle hasn't changed since I left the golf course. My ability to mod has taken a bit of a hit. I don't have the same funding I did at that point. So, but hopefully, hopefully some big things are on the horizon, and the Mustang will make its winterly trip to Blue Sky to get some big chunk of factory removed or boosted. Because I have the roof. My heat extractors are shipping. And then it's the wing. And then we can go. And then, of course, there's the $3,000 to $5,000 of installing the bastard. Because apparently in Ford's infinite wisdom, it's very difficult to remove the roof without breaking the windshield. I don't know if that's commonplace among... I don't know if that's commonplace with modern cars now, but yeah. So, but yeah, oh my gosh, there was a silver Mustang at Blue Sky today. It was an S550. It was the facelifted version, so 2018 or later. And it had a black roof and a black wing and black heat extractors. And I'm like, man, that is my car in a minute. And it really got me, man, I want to get this roof on. Excuse me. Oh, shit. Let's just do this. Let's see here. Doug, if I get a good paying job, then all my projects are welcome to become content material for you all. Making videos sucks. Yes. And no. Let me put it this way. I would not have been doing this for as long as I have been doing it if it sucked that much. Doing the work on your daily driver and having to get the work done before you leave the shop sucks. That was the Volvo. So if I got, let me put it this way. If I got stuck and I had parts removed, and was putting stuff back on and it got stuck with something, I had to figure it out, whether it was 10 o'clock at night or 3 o'clock in the morning. Because at 6 o'clock in the morning, at 5:30 in the morning, the maintenance crew came in through the front door and they needed my car out of the way. And it was my daily driver, so I kind of needed it to work. But I appreciate that, man. I mean, one of these days we should walk around and just talk about your cars. It's free 99. Because you got some interesting stuff and some, the Volvo race car is an interesting project. So one of these days, we'll do a, whatever we want to call it. I guess in your case, it would be a barn/field tour of all your vehicles. But yeah, I mean, there is an art to making videos. I'm not saying I've mastered that by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying Shifting Lanes in general has mastered that. What I am saying is that there's a certain methodology to it. So, but on the flip side, it is a pain in the ass to have to go get a part, talk about what you're about to do, and position the camera, do a time lapse, stop the camera, remove it, then recap what you just did, any issues you ran into, etc., etc. Go back, do it again. It doubles the length of time for your job, even for someone like me. Now, if I was a little more mechanically inclined, maybe it would take shorter, but that's part of the reason Jeff and I were talking about this today at Blue Sky. Part of the reason I had him build the car was, well, one, they're the best in the business as far as I'm concerned. Number two, they're a local small business, friends of mine from high school, even though I didn't really know them that well in high school. But they're local. I wanted to support that type of business. And lastly, not to put down Volvo in any stretch, but let me put it to you this way. If I made a mistake on the C30, it was like, at the time, a $5,000 mistake. As opposed to a $25,000 to $35,000 mistake with the Mustang. And we're talking more than double the horsepower. 2.5 times the power. So to get, when that goes wrong, that's a little different. That said, I mean, probably, if I was to say hit like Mega Millions or something, probably the fifth or sixth car to be built would be my version of a dream C30 project. Because I always want, like, I have some ideas and I want to do it, and I think it'd be a cool car, especially if I didn't have to worry about money. It'd be a cool car to build, enjoy, and then say give to a viewer or something like that. But I didn't win Mega Millions. I don't have a spare $100K lying around to throw at cars. You'd notice you'd know if I did. Yeah, Steve goes, watch Chevy come out with a mini truck named the Cavalier. I mean, not for nothing. I forget who said it. It might have been. Yeah, it was Chuck. In today's day and age, coming out with something called the Chevy Love probably do pretty good marketing wise. Just saying. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. These allergies are kicking my ass. Why are the speakers on this PC? But again, like I said, I said before, mini trucks, they're cool little things. And I think it appeals to a lot of people who don't want a crossover, even though they're basically buying one with the back third lopped off. But I think it's an appealing prospect. And like I said, I mean, shit, an RS Maverick would be pretty dope. I mean, drift mode in a mini truck would be pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie. Oh shoot, that's why. Excuse me. All right, guys. I apologize for the short one, but I think I'm going to end it there. Kind of whooping me at the moment, but maybe on Chuck. Steve goes, all right, kids, I'm calling at work, kicked my ass, huffing 13 miles. As soon as I got home, I immediately had to run out and do errands. Now back and overheated, fat ass, taking a nice cold shower. Good night. Hey, Steve, thanks for coming down again. Thank you for your generous donation, etc. And then lastly, Chuck goes, hey, don't disrespect the Chevette. LOL, mine was FIR with a 350 and a 2-speed. At any rate, guys, Thank you to Doug. Thank you to Steve. Thank you to Nate. For everyone for donating. I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. You guys have a great night. We'll see you. We'll be back on Monday next week with Greg.